Stacy is an incredible girl. I've had such a pleasure of meeting her through I actually first encountered her mom, which I'm going to let her tell the whole story. But then I was able to walk her through the entire experience, preparing her for her pageant. So thank you so much, Stacy, for being here. I'm going to let you go ahead and share your story.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Alycia. Hello, ladies. So you might not recognize my accent, and that is because I'm from the other side of the world, as Alycia likes to say, and that is South Africa. So I'm all the way from South Africa, and my mom actually came across Alycia. And it was funny because Alycia was talking and she was saying how sometimes we think we know what Win a Pageant is about. I watched a few YouTube videos before actually starting. And I was like, this is fine. Like, I know what's happening. I don't need to do this. And my mom was like, Stacy, you need to do this. And I learned so much through the experience. So my mom actually came across Alycia and she messaged her. And from there, I joined Win a Pageant. But I joined Win a Pageant because I entered Miss South Africa in 2020 for the second time, actually. I flopped completely the first time, but we won't even talk about that. I was very young and I just took a chance without any preparation. So I entered in 2020 and I made top 30. And that was obviously COVID and the whole world was in lockdown. And that gave me a lot of hope to do it again. It was such a profound experience because it taught me so much in that time. I didn't even think I had the ability to even get into something as big as Miss South Africa. And when I did that, I fell out from top 30 to top 15. And from that time, I said to myself, I'm going to do it in 2 years' time, which is 2022. And I'm going to prepare myself to perfection as much as I possibly can. And that's exactly what I did. So I came across Alycia, number one. I had a speaking coach, number two, and I was working on my body. I was working on my wardrobe. And the awesome thing about Win a Pageant was they literally go through everything with you. And for somebody like me, who's very I don't know if I got everything. There's a checklist. It's fine. It's a checklist for everything. Let me just say that Win a Pageant did not leave any stone unturned. So with that being said, I prepared myself as best as what I could. But the unfortunate thing, and the fortunate thing actually, because I don't ever believe that there was a mistake in that, is I came across Win a Pageant quite late in my journey. And I think we only started, Alycia, I think you can maybe correct me here, but I think we had 3 months. Was it 3 months to prepare? Yeah, it was half the time. We really poor Trinity. So Trinity was my coach and we were just we were pushing. I remember our first call and Trinity was just explaining how the academy worked. And she was like, do you have any questions? And I was like, yeah, okay, listen. So my pageant is in 3 months' time. And I don't know what to do. So I must admit, you have the best support system here. They took me on and they embraced me with everything that I was. And literally, I can't even explain how much this academy has done for me. And I'm not even just talking in my personal pageant journey. I'm talking about in my life. I remember when I started Win a Pageant, I've been modeling since the age of 6, and I thought I knew a lot about pageantry. And I thought, I know what's happening. I don't really, what can I still learn kind of thing. And I love to learn, so I'm not closed off. But irrespective of that, I came in and my confidence in myself was very low. I didn't believe that as much as I was I'm doing this thing and I've prepared, inside of my heart, I was still doubting if that's something that I could achieve. Is this what God is calling me? I was doubting every step of the way. And I remember having calls with Trinity and talking to her about it. And I remember specifically one office hours, actually, I climbed on and I have a hectic schedule, and over and above work and all the other things I was doing and my legacy project, I really was just I was so burnt out and I was exhausted. And I think it was 2 or 3 weeks before my pageant. And I remember getting on the call, and I think it was towards the end of the call. I wasn't even supposed to get on the call. And I got on and I said to Alycia, I just asked a question, and I can't even remember what it was. And in that, like, she picked up that I was not okay, and that I was, my whole spirit was just down. I was just emotionally, spiritually, everything. I was just drained. And to cut the story short, I think that she spoke so much life into my soul. She spoke so much life into me. And she just, I'll never forget these words. She said to me, you are already doing what God has called you to do because of the equipping that I had been through, the process that I had been through. And someone told me a story about grapes have to go through a vigorous process before it becomes wine. And grapes will last a week in your fridge before going off. But wine can last forever in a bottle, but it has to go through that rigorous process to become wine. And that is what I had to go through to become what I am today, sitting in front of you. And I competed at Miss South Africa, and we did our interviews, I walked, and I felt absolutely amazing. And I didn't make top 10, but I left that pageant having so much peace in my heart, and people sending me messages still to this day, telling me how much my journey has inspired them, how much I continue to inspire them. And I think I just want to say that I would never have reached that potential, and understood how much me being this small town girl, have reached such a big platform, I guess. I mean, yeah, audience of women that need inspiration, that need somebody to just speak into their spirits, into their souls. And I didn't realize that God could use me in that. I kept doubting in myself. So yeah, and through that I started my legacy project, which is my podcast, which I absolutely love educating people with. And I also have another one called Rise Against Hunger. Well, it's not mine, but I am an ambassador and a volunteer. And we are currently actually just working for Mandela Day with huge companies in South Africa. We've got huge sponsors, and we're feeding children, malnourished children, which is absolutely amazing. Today specifically, we actually packed meals that will feed, I think it's 216 kids for 5 days for the entire year, which is absolutely amazing. And that was just today. So it's just incredible to see how much difference you can make when you truly just, even if it's the slightest belief in yourself, and if you are struggling to believe in yourself, surround yourself with women and surround yourself with people who are able to pick you up. God says in his word, it's not good for man to be alone. It's not good for you to be isolated. So get yourself those women around you, especially women. Women need to support women who can just pick you up and just hold your hand and just walk with you this journey. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that, Stacy. Truly, truly beautiful. I am so grateful for the work that you put in such a short amount of time. And it was cool because you soaked up everything in the academy. You know, you were like, I'm going to be on every single one of these office hours. I'm going to have all my calls with Trinity booked out. Like, I'm going to do my mock interview. I'm going to do the paperwork review. I'm going to do all of the things. And you really leaned into it. And I remember that call that you described where you were like, and you asked this question that I was like, no, you're missing the point. And I remember that transformation that happened for you that was setting you up for the success of service to your country, really to your God above all, in the areas that he's called you to. And I think that is the impact, that's the ripple effect that is going to lead you to great places, whether it's in pageantry or otherwise. And I still think it is going to be in pageantry, but even if it's otherwise, it's something outstanding because you're leaning in. So thank you so much. And thank you so much for being here to share your story too. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Alycia. Thank you, ladies.